A lot of y'all think, yeah. As long as I'm good, I'm attractive, and I know how to say hola, I'm good. No, that's not good enough. That's not enough. A lot of y'all be going to Colombia for 10 years and don't even know a lick of Spanish.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in a golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, ayy.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jamie Woods back at it with another travel video. And today, guys, I got a very interesting one for you guys, because today I'm going to go over the pros and the cons of dating overseas. I've actually made a live stream about this in the past, so you guys can go check that out. However, I'm going to make a video about this, and I'm going to split it up into two. So one for the pros, one for the cons. So as y'all know, I'm the type of man that I usually start out with the cons, and then I ended off on a good note with the pros. So the first one will be about the cons. It's going to be a very, very intriguing video. So stay tuned and watch to the very end, because your boy has a lot of good points and surprises waiting for you guys. But let's get it started.
What are the bad words in Portuguese that I need to know about?
I don't say bad words in Portuguese.
Oh, okay, all right. In private then. I'm gonna DM you. What's bad words in Portugal and Brazil?
Okay. What do you wanna know?
I just want to know like the most popular like bad word.
There is like the filho da puta.
Filho la juca.
Filho.
Filho. Da.
Puta.
Oh, wow. I know what that means.
So number one is the expensive travel costs. So this is something that not many content creators usually talk about. They always usually talk about the good, like how you find feminine women, beautiful women, a plethora of women, right? We're going to leave that for the pros. But there are some cons when it comes to this, guys. So if you are trying to date overseas, make sure that your bank account is good, okay? We're talking that your finances are good. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying that dating overseas is less expensive than dating in the States, and to an extent that is true, meaning that when you get there, the travel costs are going to be cheaper. So for example, going out to a 5-star dinner, going to the bar, going out nightlife, shopping, anything like that, stay, it's going to be much cheaper in a foreign country. However, the flights are not cheap. All right, so if you're talking to a girl from Europe, you're spending over $1,000 just to go over there. If you're talking to a girl from Colombia, Brazil, well, Colombia specifically, you're talking about $500, $600, $700 for a flight. Brazil, we're talking about $1,000+ for a flight. All right, you're talking to a girl in Africa, wherever, we're talking over $1,000. You guys get the point. It's very expensive. And when you're doing these things multiple times a year, because that's the thing, is when you talk to someone overseas, you're going to want to see them often, meaning more flights. The more flights, the more cost, right? So you're going to be spending probably a couple $1,000s a year just to see this person. And then once you get there, you got to pay for the stay. You got to pay for everything. Now it's cheaper, but you still got to pay for everything, because she's not going to pay for everything. You got to pay for everything. It's not like here in the States, where it maybe if you go on a date with a chick that really likes you, she might offer to pay because they got the resources to do so here in the States. However, when you're dating a girl from a foreign country where they might not have the resources, you're expected to 100% pay. Well, another thing is the visas. So I'm pairing this along with the travel costs. Once you guys do settle down and become a thing, and you're serious about marrying this girl, bringing her over to the States, if that's something you plan on doing, well, here's the thing, is these visas are not cheap. The K1 visa, couple $100 on top of the flights that you have to pay for the girl. So for example, my situation, I'm going to talk about me real quick. So when I was dating my ex-girlfriend who's from Russia, right? So what happened was, because at the time they shut down the embassy, the US embassy in Moscow, where she's from, I had to buy her flight to Poland for her to fly over there, for her to complete her interview and everything, to get the K1 visa. And that's expensive, especially coming out of Russia after a war. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, guys, is they may not be from a capital city. You may have to fly them there. It's a couple $100, couple thousand, depending. And on top of that, from there, you got to pay for them to come here to the States. And then once they're here in the States, then you got to pay for her whole lifestyle. So I'm talking about, you know, she's not going to help you with the rent. She's not going to help you with things around the house financially. She's going to help you out, you know, cleaning and everything, cooking, but she's not going to help you, like, you know, to make sure the bills are paid in the house. So you got to make sure, guys, that before you dive into something like this, that your money is spot on. Okay, because unfortunately, some of these girls don't have the resources that we have here in the States. So they depend on us in order to make sure that they're protected financially. So if your finances are not on point, man, just stay here, get your shit together. And maybe if you want to dive into that in the future, go ahead. But guys, it's expensive, okay? So don't listen to what everyone tells you online. Yes, it can be inexpensive when it comes to dates and stuff like that. However, when you're actually dating a chick and you're trying to see her, it can get pretty pricey. Another one is time zone differences. Now, this is one that kind of flies over a lot of people's heads because they don't really think about it too much until they start talking to someone that has a time zone difference. So, for example, when I was talking to Irina, my ex-girlfriend, she was from Russia. In Russia, they're about, I believe, 6 to 8 hours ahead of us. So European time, they're like 6 to 8 hours ahead. So we're talking about a whole work shift ahead. So I would be getting up and she's well into the day. I'm talking about like she already ate lunch. She might be already back home by the time I start getting into work. So that messes things up because the thing is, you don't get too much time to talk to each other because a lot of your communication is going to come through text, FaceTime. And the thing is, if you're waking up and she's just getting back home to work, she only has a couple more hours before she has to go to sleep. So you only have that little gap to work with, that little gap to do FaceTimes or texts. So your communication could be messed up because of it. Now, another thing is when you do fly over there, so let's just say the Philippines or a place like Japan where they're almost a whole day ahead of us. When you do fly over there, now you got to get used to all that, the time zone difference. You might have a whole day or two just to adjust to it because you're going to have a lot of jet lag. And then when you come back to the United States, now you got to readjust again. So that's the thing, guys, is the time zone difference could mess up the communication, the bond that you guys are trying to create because they're on a different time than you are. They're in the future, you're in the past, all right, or vice versa. So number 3 would be the cultural differences and the language barrier. So this one is noticeable off the rip. And here's the thing, guys, I'm gonna keep it a buck. A lot of us don't really speak a second or even a third language. So a lot of us just depend on English because English, let's just face it, is a universal language. A lot of people around the world speak English. So if you speak English, you do have an advantage in the world. However, not everyone speaks English. Not everyone has the money, the resources to learn English because that can be a bit expensive in certain countries. So the thing is, if you're going to a place like, for example, I'm going to name it Brazil, where in Brazil, only 1% of the population speaks fluent English. Your chances of meeting a girl over there that speak English is slim. Like I said, it's 1%. Only 1% of the population speaks it. So the thing is, you either have to pick up on Portuguese, she's got to pick up on English, y'all need to meet halfway, or y'all just going to be speaking hand signals with each other. I don't know what y'all going to do. But for the most part, guys, in order for this relationship to truly work out, you need to speak their language. I think people keep doubting the importance of being able to speak the same language. A lot of guys are under the impression that you can date a girl from a different country that speaks a whole different language than you, and it'll work out. No, it won't work out. It'll be awkward. You guys will be going out to dinners and dates together, and you guys are just going to be looking at each other and shit like it's a staring contest because you're not going to know what to say because you're not going to be able to understand each other. So I do recommend, guys, if you guys are trying to date overseas, make sure to pick up on another language. Try Duolingo. Try Preply. I've told y'all this a million times already. Try Preply. Preply, you can get yourself a tutor for Spanish, Portuguese, Mandarin, Russian. It don't matter what language you want to learn. And sometimes it could be as cheap as $10 per lesson, $5 per lesson. You're only spending maybe $40 a month. Right now, my Portuguese tutor, shout out to Manuela, by the way. Shout out to Manuela if she's watching this right now. I'm not even paying that much for Manuela's services. And Manuela's going above and beyond, by the way. Amazing tutor. Amazing. But I'm not even paying that much for her services. And I don't just suggest you guys to learn a new language for dating, by the way, before you guys draw the conclusions. Obviously, learning new language for more than just women and more than just dating. However, that's a pro of learning new language is it can be useful to when you're trying to date in a specific country. Because the thing is, in order for you to create a strong connection, you have to be able to communicate with each other. Communication is key. A lot of y'all try to attract these women just based off of physical attraction. And sure, you might be a Chad, muscles popping, looking good, skin is clear, everything. But once y'all done hitting, what now? What are y'all gonna do? Because most of what you guys are gonna be doing is gonna be communicating, not fucking. Let's be honest, guys. A lot of y'all think, yeah. As long as I'm good, I'm attractive, and I know how to say hola, I'm good. No, that's not good enough. That's not enough. You got to learn more. You got to bust your ass. A lot of y'all want to call yourself travelers, but you don't put in the work. Put in the work. All right. I'm putting in the work right now to learn Portuguese. I know 2 languages. I know English and Spanish, and now I know Portuguese. I didn't have to learn Portuguese, but I wanted to because I love Brazil so fucking much as a country. And of course, I love my Brazilian women. I'm going to keep it a buck. And I've always kept it a buck. And so if I want success in Brazil when it comes to real estate, the culture, meeting people, connections, women, I got to learn Portuguese. A lot of y'all be going to Colombia for 10 years and don't even know a lick of Spanish. Now, another one is cultural differences. Now, that's the thing, guys. Sometimes you may not even know what the differences are until you get there. Like, for example, when I was dating Irina, who's a Russian woman, Russian culture is completely different from American culture. Even small things. Like, for example, when I was talking to her, I'd be smiling a lot. Or if I was taking pictures, I'd be smiling. To us Americans, that's normal. You're supposed to smile, right? That's why we say cheese. Like, cheese. Because when you say cheese, you're smiling, right? That's the thing. So us, that's normal. To them, that's weird. They're like, why are you smiling in the pictures? Because Russians are used to like taking pictures like, they want to look tough. Even the girls be like in the pictures. Like, I remember her and the photographer, who also was Russian, were telling me, don't smile. Just be like that. Be all serious. Because to them, the thing is, like, I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if it's the weather over there, if that's just a norm. I guess the thing about Russian people is and Eastern Europeans is, I think they appreciate authenticity, like realness. Like, they don't feel that you have to smile just to smile. Like, if you're gonna smile, it's because something that happened made you happy, or something that happened made you laugh, whatever the case is. You like something that happened to you, right? Which is why you're smiling. They don't feel you gotta smile just because. So that could be it. But that's another subject, right? But something as little as that. Another thing about Russian culture is, which is completely different to American culture, believe it or not, is femininity is a big thing in Russia, meaning that they expect you as the man to pay 100% of everything. Sure, they're going to do all the women duties around the house, but they expect you as the man to make sure you're carrying the load of the finances, like 100% of it. So to us Americans, that might be a bit weird now because we're, the year 2025, where women and men split things 50-50. That's the way it is. To them, that's weird. Like, that whole 50-50 shit is weird. They're like, 50-50. The woman pays 50, the man pays what I need a man for if he's paying 50% of the shit? I'm with a man because he's securing me 100%. That's why I'm gonna be a good woman to him 100%. So that's the way they view things, is the cultural differences. Religion. Maybe you're dating a girl from the Middle East. Maybe you may have to convert in order to date her. Because I know certain religions you have to convert in order to date a woman, or else you just won't date them. Right? Maybe certain things, maybe certain customs of the religion bother you. It's something that you're uncomfortable with. Maybe, for example, I know in certain countries, they don't treat women that well. Maybe that might bother you, the way they're treating women in a certain country. Whatever the case is, whatever it is, we can go down the line here. Every country has their rules, and you got to respect their rules, right? So the thing is, make sure you do a little bit of your research before you dive into these countries and start dating girls there, or before you meet the girl. That way you're aware of what's going to happen before it happens. Because if you go over there with no knowledge, just because she's pretty, bro, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks when you get over there and you're like, wait, what the hell? I got to do this. I got to do that. What? You know what I mean? You don't want to do that, guys. You're trying to go over there with some type of strategy or some type of idea of how that culture is like in that country. Okay, so that's another thing, guys, is the cultural differences and the language barrier. The next one is trust issues. Now, let's face it, guys, we all got trust issues. This generation got trust issues because of social media. We're seeing how our friends, family members, whoever's getting played left and right, whether it's here in America, overseas, it don't matter. So because we have our phones and social media, and it's much more easier to meet people we're going to have trust issues automatically because we're going to assume that the person we're speaking to is talking to another person. Because imagine if we have trust issues dating people here locally next to us, only 5-10 minutes away from us, imagine overseas. You don't know what the hell they're doing overseas. They don't know what you're doing over here in America, right? They might be thinking you're with 10 girls, 20 girls. For all you know, they might be true. Maybe it is true. Maybe they're talking to 10, 12 other guys and shit. Maybe one of them is an American. You don't know that. Maybe she's sleeping with another guy behind your back. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, is you got to be able to have some type of trust in these type of relationships, because if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. And if you feel that you have no trust for nobody, you just can't do it, don't dive into something serious overseas. Because trust me, your brain is going to get fried, because all you're going to be thinking about is who is she with? Is she with another man? Is she sleeping with another man? Is she kissing another man? Like, you're always going to be questioning yourself in your head. If you have no trust for people, don't date overseas, because it gets even worse overseas because they're farther from you. So yeah, guys, so that's another thing. And on top of that, you have to handle the girls' trust issues, because they're going to have their own trust issues. They're going to be thinking, this is a handsome American man. I don't want to lose him. Like, I see a good opportunity with this guy. I really like this guy. I don't want to lose. Because the thing about these girls overseas is they have a little bit different mentality than the girls here in America do. I think the girls here in America, I'm going to keep it a buck, all right? Someone's probably going to get pissed off what I say, but it's 100% the truth. The women here in America got options, okay? Let's face it. They got options, a lot of options. We're talking here in America, they got NBA players, NFL stars, whoever hitting them up, right? So that's why I said even here you can have trust issues, because these girls are getting blown up by NFL stars, NBA stars. Drake might be in your girls' DMs right now for all we know, right? So that's the thing. They got people in Saudi. Girls overseas do have options as well. Don't get me wrong. They got options, but not to the degree that girls here in the States have. When they meet a great guy, they cling on to him a lot more than a woman here would. So when they cling on to you, they're going to start to have a little bit of insecurity about you. They're like, all right, this guy's handsome. He's American. He probably got other girls from, different countries hitting him up. He probably got girls in his own country hitting him up. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. They're going to be like always trying to text you to see what you up to, trying to call you. And it's not them being toxic. It's just them trying to have some type of peace of mind, because they feel that you're doing something behind their back. So it goes both ways, guys. So not only do you have to handle your own self, but you got to handle their insecurities as well. So it goes both ways. So if you guys can't handle that, do not date overseas. So the next one, which hits home a little bit for me, is friends and family disapproving of your relationship. It's similar to kind of like the LGBTQ community. Well, I don't know what it is, right? 100%, but I would assume that they go through a lot of disapproval with their families when their families find out that they're dating another man or they're dating another woman. I would assume it's kind of the same thing, maybe not to that degree or that extreme, but it's similar. Like, you have similar thoughts in a sense, because you're thinking to yourself, shit, like, a lot of people are going to think I'm weird. A lot of people are going to think I'm a lame or a dork for dating overseas. They're going to think that I'm only dating women overseas because I can't get girls here. They're going to be like, why don't you get a girl here in America? That girl overseas is, using you for a green card, which we're going to get to later. But when you date overseas, just know they will always have a negative opinion about it, whether they tell you or not. So that's the thing, guys. Are you ready to handle that? I know some guys don't give a fuck. Some girls don't give a fuck. But letting y'all know that will be something that will happen. Like, people will be very curious about your relationship, and not for the right reasons. So it'll be Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and they'll be asking you, how's your girlfriend? How's your boyfriend doing from Colombia, from Brazil, from Russia, whatever. And you'll be telling them shit. And in the back of their mind, they're definitely judging you. They're like, this fucking dork dating some girl overseas. This fucking loser can't even get a girl here. He's trying to date a girl overseas. That girl's probably riding the dick carousel overseas and shit, playing his ass. You know what I mean? That's what they're probably thinking in the back of their mind. Because the thing is, guys, what is one of the most popular shows right now? It's 90 Day Fiancé. 90 Day Fiancé is one of the most popular shows in the world right now. So what happens in 90 Day Fiancé? Usually 98% of it is negative. It never works out. So because they're watching these shows, they assume because you're doing the same thing that it's not going to work out. However, what they have to realize is these are shows. These are people that are putting their business out there on TV for the world to see, for millions of people to see. Of course it's not going to work. Our parents, our family members watch shows like this, and they assume that every long distance relationship, every relationship between an American man and a foreign woman, or vice versa, is going to crash and burn. That they're just using this for our green card. We're only dating because we can't date girls here, and that's misconceptions. Because I'm gonna shut them down right now. Because number one, just because you're dating a girl from the Philippines, from Brazil, from a different country, don't mean you're a fucking loser. It just means that that is what you're looking for, right? Not all men want to date girls here. Not all men fuck with the culture here. Not all men want to be living here full time. Maybe they want to live in a different country. That's probably why they're dating girls in that specific country. Maybe they just have a type. They like Filipino women. They like the way they act. They like their mannerisms. So that's why they go there, because they can't find that here. People are going to be like, oh, but America's diverse and we got everyone. Yes, we're diverse and we got everyone. I'm sure you could probably find maybe one or two girls like that here. However, who in the fuck is trying to search for a needle in the haystack here? Nobody's trying to do that shit. I'm sorry. So if American women are not your style because of the culture, you're going to go somewhere else, and you're okay to do that. Tinder has passport mode for a reason. Yeah, people act like dating overseas is a new concept. It's not. It's something that's been existing since the start of man. We're talking about when the settlers and all these people were coming in to invade these countries, to conquer these countries. They were out here mingling with fucking the girls, the natives and shit, making babies with them, dating those girls. So it's been going on for the longest time right now, where long distance relationships, where relationships between two different ethnicities and cultures and races went on. And it's been going on for years, for decades, for centuries. People act like this is a new concept. And on top of that, I know a lot of handsome men and women that are dating overseas. And it's not like they can't get girls here. I mean, I know a lot of guys that are dating overseas that have kids and shit here. They already have marriages. They already been through the whole shit. They went through divorces. They're trying to go to a different country and meet a whole different type of woman, a whole different culture. So yeah, guys, a lot of these guys do have experience with women here. We've been successful here. Thing is, we're trying to go somewhere else. We want something new. We want a new life. That's the main thing. Another thing is, all women that date American men just want green card. Now, don't get me wrong. There are women that do that. Don't get me wrong. And I'm going to say this. There's not really anything wrong with a woman wanting a green card, with a woman wanting better opportunities for herself. I mean, if I was a man living in Dominican Republic and a beautiful, attractive American woman came to my town and liked me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck it. She's beautiful and I can get good opportunities and benefits from dating her. Why not? You know what I mean? That's the thing, guys. Let's be real. Is you do have relationships where women do want better opportunities for themselves, but they're living in the slums. They're trying to get a better opportunity for themselves, but they also have feelings for that man. That's the thing that people fail to take into account, is that it's not just about what the woman can gain, but also because the woman is in love with that man. There is such thing as romance overseas, long distance relationships. There is. There's love. Maybe not on these shows y'all be watching, because they're set up to fail. That's the whole point of it. They want drama. If there was no drama and everything succeeded, nobody would be watching the show. So they're not going to put the success stories up on TV because they would lose ratings. They're trying to get the drama. But it exists. Yes, that's another big con about dating overseas, is you will have those rotten apples that will only want to date you for the green card and for the benefits. And the thing is, you as a man, you got to vet that woman. You got to make sure that you're looking out for the red flags, right? Because they're always there. But like I said, this is probably one of the worst things about dating overseas, is when you're putting a lot of time and energy and effort and money into a woman that you think is good for you. And then you bring her over here a couple years later after she gets her green card, deuces. Like, she just goes ghost on you. And you're like, what the fuck? Bro, I've heard some horror stories of women that came here from a different country, and as soon as they got here, they disappeared. They probably met another man. I heard stories of women that came here from another country, but they were also talking to another man on the side, and they liked that man more than the one that brought them to the country. And then once they got to the country, to America, like, once the guy was at work, they fled. They packed all their shit, went to the guy's house. There have been many stories like that. So just because you bring a girl over here and y'all married and y'all have kids, don't mean that girl's gonna be forever yours, guys. She might just be like, man, I'm gonna have this kid, I'm gonna get this green card, Deuces. So I don't blame people entirely for having the mindset that, oh, they're just using you. Don't bring him here. They're just using you. I don't blame them, because we do have horror stories like that. However, dating in general is a gamble. Dating is a gamble. So whether you date here in America or overseas, it's a gamble. You don't know if you're going to end up winning big or if you're going to lose big. You have no idea, but you're not going to know until you try it. Over here in America, you could be dating a girl. Y'all could be dating for 10, 15 years, having kids and everything, beautiful family. And then one day, divorce, alimony, pay 50%, take 50%. You know what I mean? Same thing with dating overseas. You could be talking to a girl for a couple years, bring her here, get married, everything, and she could leave you. Either way, it's always a gamble. Love is a gamble, no matter if you're a male or a female, no matter if you're dating here, dating overseas, it's always a gamble, okay? So that would probably be the biggest con of dating overseas, is that. But yeah, guys, that is the first part of this 2-part series. Stay tuned for part 2. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all sign up for that Patreon. And if you guys like these type of videos, make sure to check this video over here.